In this quick tutorial, I'll show you how to find the inverse of any function. This is part 2 of the series. The questions found in this part are slightly more complicated than those found in part 1. So let's get started. Find the inverse function of the following. As discussed in part 1, the first thing that you have to do is change your y's to your x's. But in our case, our function is defined as f at x. So you want to change f at x into y. The next step is to convert your x's and your y's to y's and x's. Let's do that. This becomes an x, this becomes a y. And in your last step, which is usually the most complicated step, is to solve for y. Let's do that. First, we'll bring this 5 over. X minus 5 is equal to 3y to the power of 3 minus 7 over 4. Now, you'll have to get rid of this 4, and the way we do that is we multiply both sides by 4. If we multiply both sides by 4 and expand the left side, we end up with 4x minus 20 is equal to 3y to the power of 3 minus 7. Remember, that is our target, so we have to get rid of this minus 7 by bringing it over to the other side. 4x minus 20, and since we're bringing it over, it becomes positive 7, is equal to 3y to the power of 3. Let's combine these two terms together. We end up with 4x minus 13 is equal to 3y to the power of 3. The next step is to divide both sides by 3. And if we do that, we end up with 4x minus 13 over 3 is equal to y to the power of 3. Cube rooting both sides at this point will isolate for y. If we cube root the left and the right side, we end up with our final answer. Therefore, the inverse of f at x is equal to what you see right there. What I'll do is bring this over, and there you have it, your final answer. Let's move on to question number 2. In question number 2, they ask, find the inverse of the following function. Once again, we start off by changing our f at x with a y. Y is equal to 4x to the power of 3 minus 5 over 7 plus 3. Our next step is to change our y to x and our x to y. So this becomes an x and this becomes a y. And doing the same thing as before, we end up with this 3 moving to the left side, and subsequently this 7 being multiplied at the left and the right side. If we do that, we end up with 7x minus 21 is equal to 4y to the power of 3 minus 5. We're going to bring this minus 5 over, and what happens is you end up with minus 21 plus 5. Minus 21 plus 5 is equal to minus 16. The right side stays the way it is. Dividing both sides by 4 gives us 7x minus 16 over 4 is equal to y to the power of 3. At this stage of the game, you cube root both sides, and this gives you your inverse function of x is equal to the cube root of 7x minus 16 over 4. And there you have it. 2 more examples on how to find the inverse of a complicated function. If you found this tutorial helpful, please support our channel by subscribing or by liking this video. If you have any further questions, you may visit our website at studyforce.com. We are an online service for students seeking free homework help. See you soon.